Alright, everybody. So this is JV VOD from, I believe it's 9/23. Alright, so it's Antarctica Peninsula. I've done over a couple different videos here for Varsity as well. Definitely recommend that each of you take a look at it. The compositions are very similar. The only thing that changes is the hero pools at Varsity versus JV. Alright, so I do try to play according to the hero pools that we currently have. And that's kind of how I base our comps around it, right? So let's just get started. First things first, we roll out with the Bastion. This is fine. Oris is fine, right? We have a standard idea of how we're going to play this. They're going to come out with the Sim and a Rhine, it looks like, but they're not going to have speed. So that means they're going to try to poke you out a distance or try to TP bomb you. It's going to be one or the other. We should be able to win out the space against the Rhine so long as we're able to put some pressure on the Zen. If we don't put any pressure on the Zen here, it's going to be problematic. Oh, they swapped to a Brig actually. For no one. So this is perfect, right? Rocket. So that's perfect engagement. See how they can't cover both corners? That's the reason why you should always be on the off angle. Once we have this high ground, though, so Cap, definitely send someone else to Cap. I don't want this, right? And I know we're trying to get some poke pressure here, but that means if Bosiv is now left on an island, if anything, Bosiv would swap to that corner and you would hold Y. Because if their run is smart, they're going to group up together and essentially just rush Bosiv here. No reason to rush you, they can just go after Bosiv. Which is exactly what they're doing. It's a good trade though on the back end. We traded 2 for 2. Nice Cap. So that ended up working out because we traded 2 for 2, but we have to be really careful about that. Cap, if you just stay on this high ground right here, we can still trade for 2 for 2 on the back end, and you would still be able to protect the 2 that died here. Good stagger on that last one. Achilles, one thing I will note is on that play, you could have just gone high ground here and put lamp. Ryan can't kill you. Play cover. You're a BAP. It's very important for you to play cover. Okay, this is a good disengagement by Rocket. I think Rocket, though, it looks like they were a little delayed on figuring out what the Sim TP went. Definitely just call that out, and if you did, great. All we have to do here is win the poke out war. There's no reason to fully commit until they commit, especially because they swapped over the Zarya. Remember, not Piercing, Cap can't be left out on an island here. Okay. So another situation that you could have done there, Achilles, is even though we lose 1 and we trade for 1, you could have windowed with Rocket, right? And that would have essentially deleted that team if you just windowed them. And this is what I mean with my bad players needing to really get value out of their windows. There's no reason we hold on to window there. We can easily just use window and use Rocket. Use his ult, right? And then we should be able to at least force this into a 99 situation. It's fine that we force this into a 70-0, but you know, that means it's a 1 fight plus half of a second fight percentage-wise, and that's what I don't want to ever have to deal with. I want it to be a 1 fight or at 99, or if anything, just completely sweep them. So just don't be afraid to pull the plug on that window. Like, you guys had perfect sightlines. Even if you pop it when Bosiv goes into Terraform, if you pop it there immediately, Bosiv essentially deletes their Bastion. Cap comes out in the mirror. This is fine. Nice. So, and that's what I mean by Achilles. You do that window earlier on that left side, and it's exactly the same thing that you guys just did now. We're just giving them a chance to recontest. right? If we have 4 set to 99 on the last one and then we come in with Rocket's ult and clean up anyways, it's a map point for us right here. Alright, so it's important to understand, we use all our ults to take the point, right? So it's either going to be a drive fight or they're going to be ulting us immediately. We don't really have a win condition here with what we have left. Best we can hope for is a bubble with Valk and then either Rocket or Posef get a kill on someone on their back line. But because we know they have ults incoming, it's going to be a tough fight for us to sustain on. And again, this goes back to the thing, we ult this earlier, this doesn't become a situation. Okay, we leave Cap on alone. I think that's just bad communication between Posef and you, Cap. Either you both drop or none of you drop. Right? Like, Posef just played safe the whole time. You weren't going to win that fight. And they didn't use a single ult to take that point. So this can't happen. We gave up the point, we forced no ults, and we still don't have ults coming online. I haven't watched the full playthrough, but I would not be surprised if they full hold us here. And make this a 1-0 reverse sweep, essentially, just because of our bad ult usage on our end. But let's see what happens. Nice kill, Rocket. This is what I mean though. You're using the window after he's out of turret mode. Like, there's no communication here. I don't know how hard it is for you guys to communicate a window bastional. Jesus, I mean, window bastion turret. That's insane. Nice. I'll be honest with you guys there. I'm kind of shocked they didn't use the ults correctly against you guys. They should have won that round with what they had online. But good job on cleaning out. Please use your ults properly, bad players. Communicate with your bastions. Otherwise, what's the point? So one thing I want here from you, Rocket, is ideally if you can hold somewhere on the off angle, or even take this angle right here first, somewhere where we don't just funnel in against a bastion. Because if we are gonna funnel in like that and good kill, if we are gonna funnel in like this, we have to essentially make sure to get kills, because otherwise our front line's gonna get deleted. All right, right here we should be spreading. Everyone should just be spreading to take angles. Everyone should be taking angles. This is taking too long. I understand there's someone in the back line. Go kill everybody else first. They're higher priority. Okay, we're giving them percentage points. Alright, we're still not. The target priority is just not happening here. Lose Kachu. Lose Rocket. Yeah, just too slow. We should have just pushed. That's a team call. You guys did not push. You're chasing. If you guys push on the first two people here early, you immediately kill them. You take the point. We were up 2, and somehow that didn't happen. It's, you know, it is what it is. Like, either you guys all drop or you play high ground, and you guys can just rotate this way. But I don't know why we're dropping, and then the rest of the team is backing up this way. That doesn't make sense. You guys have to be a synchronized unit, especially for target priorities. Okay, so that's bad window number 3 here. I don't know what value we get out of that window. You could have put it anywhere else. You could have put it on the points, and then at least the Bastion drops to kill the Zarya. Oh boy. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I think we lose this. Yeah, we lose that. That's just bad communication from my Bastion and my Bab. You guys have to figure that out. Let's go to the next one. Balls here is okay, but your bash is not gonna have any value. If you're gonna do ball against a team comp, just have Bosef go Genji or something. Especially if I'm not there, that would force Achilles on the Kiriko, and honestly, at that point, probably catch on the Moira, because I don't know if the Mercy would be enough. So I definitely think we're better than this team. I just think it's like these weird mistakes that we're committing that we don't usually make. Right, we're able to get these picks and then we don't go in. We're not like, wow, like it's just everything's too slow. Achilles wasn't there for 2 scrims last week, so that probably has a lot to do with it. But Jesus. Windows rocket. They're running double main healer because they essentially will not let that Zarya die. So if there's no pressure on that backline, or we don't burst the Zarya down immediately when there's no cooldowns, you guys are not going to be able to push through. Alright, well, there goes our Zarya, unfortunately. This is interesting. Alright, so we played very unorganized. Oh, this hurts to watch. This hurts to watch. We win that second map if we play more organized. It looks like for some reason we got frustrated. People don't want to play with their, you know, the whole team composition that we had set out to play. This doesn't make sense. So the reason why I never run double hit skins, right, is because there's no way I'm getting value. And I'm going to be honest, there's no way I get value with... I've never, and I'm telling you, never will I do a double hit scan with a merchant. That's pointless. Because... one of my hit skins is essentially going to be useless. One of you two, it is what it is. One of you two will be useless in this team comp. That's how it works. Because the Mercy's only going to be able to pocket one, which means I'm getting mediocre value from the other, which means I'd rather get a Dav value or Brawl value or zoning value from another hero pool that you're playing with, right? And this can't happen, right? So if you guys want to swap to something like this, one of you will need to swap off to something else, right? So if you're really frustrated, you don't want to play Bastion anymore, well, so you can't also have Rocket on the Sojourn again. You guys have to coordinate this as the DPS. Right? And if we go dive, which also could have worked against a team comp like this, Cap, you could have gone like Winston Genji, that forces Kachu and Achilles to go Kiriko Moira. And you guys are actually able to create probably a lot more value against this. You got Bosef and Rocket go Tracer Genji. I think that would have given you guys as a team a whole lot more value. We ran this, I think, on Queen Street the other day, if I remember. But regardless of the situation here, that's the team comp that you guys want to run against this, and that's the play that should have been made. Again, Cap, with what they have here with a BAP and an Ana, you're not killing the Zarya because the DPS, we have a one pocketed DPS and then a non-pocketed DPS. There's not enough burst to either get the lamp, heal through the nade, or do damage through the nade. If she gets nanoed, or even worse, right? If she has the 2 bubbles, even worse, you're not killing that Zarya, right? That's who you're losing that matchup. All they're doing, they're going after your squishies, right? Because your squishies are just easy money, and then these guys, they don't have the burst to kill through it anyways. You're better off just going dive against a team comp like this. If you guys want to see what I mean, we ran something like a dive against on Queen Street on Varsity 2. Watch that VOD, and I'll go over it. There's certain situations where you just swap immediately. right? So swap to a Winston if it's not working. If they don't have a Bastion, Cap, you know that. Swap to the Winston. Both of go Genji. We can go Kiriko with the Moira, whatever the situation here is. And then if they swap back, well, guess what? We swap back again. It is what it is. But we would have at least taken the point, forced it to 70-70 maybe. From 70-70, you know, it's a one-team fight. That's the way I would look at it. Don't try to force things that aren't working. And then don't do this. Please don't ever do this. As a team, if you're actually even playing ladder comp and you're doing this, this is just awful, right? And not to be like, this just doesn't make sense. Right? If it's like running Winston and then having to hit scan. Okay, so who's going to dive with me? Okay, it's like having... Yeah, maybe if we had an Orisa who can take the damage, but they have a Zarya with bubbles, so it doesn't make sense, and they have the double main heals, and there's no high ground on this map. It's just awful. It's almost like running Reinhardt on Dorado first point on attack. Like, how's he gonna get up there to help you, right? You need something else. You need a sim. You need something if you really want to force that hero onto there, because they're just gonna pepper you on the way down, on the way up. So that's all I have for you guys today. I think we just kind of broke apart target priority. Coordination, I don't think it was there. As if you can look on the second map, everything just looks so sloppy. And I think on this third map, I don't know what happened. We tilted. We didn't think about changing to correct team comps, right? That's the reason why it's important for us to understand what works and what doesn't work. Something that doesn't work, you guys are a good dive team, right? That's why I'm having Bosef on the Echo, or sometimes, you know, even on Genji. Like, this is why I've had you guys run this sometimes, and this is why we're going to run this forward. Because if Bastion's becoming less prevalent on certain maps because of that nerf he got, that nerf, then we should be able to dive him. And ideally, I would probably like to run an Ana on this map, or a Bab. Achilles, you have to start working on your lamps and your windows. We need to start getting more value out of this. If we can't get value out of a window, you're going to have to play Ana. But then if you're dying again often as Ana, then we're essentially screwed, right? Because at least on BAP, I can have you take on a Tracer and you not die immediately. On Ana, if you miss a sleeper grenade, you're toast, right? So, that's all I'm going to say for now on this. I think we just know what we have to make mistakes, whatever the mistakes were. They weren't crazy. I don't think this other team was better than you guys as a whole. I think they just communicated betterly. And I think they ran an adjustment to your comp that we were not able to swap to counter, right? So as a team, I give you all the freedom to understand that if something isn't working, to try something else. But you got to try something that has a chance of working rather than something that you think, well, maybe I can just make this work. It's two different things, right? It's almost like if Cap had swapped over to the Orisa against this. Okay, it's like that's not going to work either. So that's not a swap that you can tell me and say, hey, that semi-works, or I'm going to try this just to see if it works. No. If we're going to do that, you might as well just go Ryan. I would be like, you know what, Cap? Your 2 DPS wanted to run double hit scan. Maybe you run a shield to help them out because they're just dying to the bubbles. I don't think Cap wins that battle anyways against an Orisa with double main heals. But at least it's an acceptable swap. On the DPS end, you're not winning against us with double main heals on their end. So dive was the better pick here, unfortunately, right? So we can zone out half their team, engage on the other half. Zarya can only bubble so much. The trickle damage doesn't do as much on the bubbles, so you're still able to get value on the Winston. I think that's the swap that we should have made. And then hopefully with Achilles, we have enough heal on the back end to sustain against that comp. Okay? So I will leave that as just my thoughts on this map. And we've continued to work on this. I think we're going to get better. We're starting to teeter off from a Bastion meta anyways. I think it's definitely going to go into a dive poke of some sorts, especially being able to poke out a Zarya. I think that's going to be much easier now without a Bastion, just burning everything, just because they'll be exposed if they're ever out of position or don't have a bubble. And if team wants to run a rush, obviously against rush, right, we'll have an advantage on certain maps. Well, that ends this VOD review for today, and I'll see you on the next one.